Welcome, you guys. Welcome.
You don't wanna step to me now. You don't wanna step to me.
I don't even know why I sounded like that. Maybe I'm a bad weather. I'm not sure. So let me even stop it right here because I didn't like that in the background. So we just gonna get right into it. I guess I ain't gonna do no music today. Hold on, you guys. How are you guys? Check the color. Let me welcome. Hold on, you guys, one moment. Well, I want to welcome everybody today who's in the box. I appreciate you guys joining me. It's going to be a good show. I'm going to bring I call him Mr. Chi-Town up so y'all can hear him. Let me welcome everybody in the box who's here right now. Miss Dorsey. Hey, Mama Denson. Fred, right cross. Miss Ellen, Miss Wrinkler, Miss Valerie, Miss Key Brown, Miss Savannah in the house. Let me make sure Miss BB, I got your situation too you gave me. Godmother, always in the house. Love you guys. Listen, everything you get ready to hear, I'm hearing it for the first time like you. I got a little bit of an understanding with the gentleman. We talked a little bit. Wait a minute, you guys. I see something. Hold on one moment. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, you guys. So the gentleman that you getting ready to talk to, I call him Mr. Chi-Town. He'll introduce you to who he is, how he heard about me. We'll kind of go in that a little bit, and then we're just gonna listen to what he has to say. I try to allow people to find out like I found out, or when he's talking, you'll find out like I'm finding out, and then that way we can all learn what's going on together. Quite naturally, I'm going to be asking some questions. And if anything you guys want to know later on, I'll go back down in the box. I will be dropping a link. So if y'all want to ask him a question, you can. But what I want you to remember with any interview that I do or someone comes on, it's for a reason and a purpose. You really don't never know how you can affect someone, how you treat them, how you talk to them. And especially if you're in the celebrity field and depending on what you're supposed to be doing. Should you ever talk to someone nasty? No. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I have too. But not because nobody's just trying to be nice to me. And I'm saying that because you don't never know what type of impression that you'll leave on someone when you say something negative or you treat them in a negative way. So with further ado, I'm going to bring up Mr. Chi-Town. That's my nickname because sometimes I get people's name wrong or I can't remember. So I say Mr. Chi-Town, but he'll tell you who he is and get ready to meet him. Mr. Chi-Town in the house. How are you?
What's happening, Miss Berry?
What's going on with you?
Listen, lady, you are amazing. I have been listening to your podcast for about a week or so. I've been catching up on old stuff and listening to some of the new stuff. Before we get into anything about me, let me just tell you that I found out about you from my mail lady. Yes, Lord. She was like, I don't know how we even started, but we started talking about Steve Harvey. And she said, you should talk to ESSIE Berry. Really? And I said, really? She was like, yes. I said, who is that? She said, that is Rerun's widow. And I was like, I love that. My God, Rerun, the thing that made him so amazing was his ability to move and being so big. Like, he started a whole genre of dance. Like, nobody was doing that pop locking before him. You know, that was the first person I seen do it. And the mail lady tells me to call you. I send you a couple of messages and I finally get in contact with you. And when I did, I was overwhelmed. When I listened to the people talking, when I listened to this fake Steve Harvey guy having a conversation with you, how he kept going in and out of being Steve Harvey. Why you call me a nigga? Well, wait a minute. You said you wasn't Steve. You know what I mean? So it was.
You listening? You heard me? Pay attention, y'all. It's going to be serious today. I like that you observed that and you paid that attention.
So let's just suppose he isn't Steve Harvey's. Then we know at least he is one of his emissaries. He is somebody that works for Steve. So if you work for him, then we can comfortably say that you at least represent him and that you're giving what he wants you to say to the world. So if nothing else, then at least we know Steve Harvey is talking to him.
Yeah, but I know 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt is him. I can't tell y'all this proof on here, but when it's time, I can lay it right out there in front of you, one. And then two, with you or without him, you know, you still in that same aura. So you might as well say you represented yourself. I know sometimes people hear he say Tim Walton. So when I got the restraining order on Steve, just we talking, he had flagged my whole page, and the person who flagged my page was Spook Channel 7. Go on my community page, y'all will see that document. So then I didn't know that YouTube would let you know who flagged your page, and then they want your address and all that, so you can't respond. So that's why he started saying he was Tim Walton, because I was able to prove that Spook, aka Steve Harvey, had flagged my page. And if you go back and look at the videos that were strike, they were all talking about him. You understand? I know what I know the way I know, but I love that you analyze that, and I love your personality. Oh my God.
Thank you very much. My background, initially I was a comedian. I have been a comedian for 32 years. For a little while, I stopped doing stand-up. I was still doing it, but I wasn't doing it as much. And I was a correctional officer, thus that photo. That was me as a jail guard, as a rendering.
That's you right there. Let me see.
Okay.
No, that's right. Okay.
Yes, that's me as a jail guard. There's a bunch of stories about that too. It is really hard trying not to show self-hate when you are police. You know,
right.
They go out their way to create a culture of violence and hate. So when you're not doing that, it's really rough on you. But my background was in corrections, and I was doing stand-up the full time I since I've been 21. Okay. And I worked in a club called All Jokes Aside. The significance of All Jokes Aside, it was historic. It was the first Black comedy club in the city of Chicago.
Okay.
So I worked there from like, I think I started like, it was open for like 6 weeks, and I started seating people. And in addition to seating people, my job was to keep the comedians' time. And they were big fans of Steve Harvey. They were huge. They loved Steve. And so Steve was working there, and it was my job to keep his time. And I told Steve, you know, I was letting him know his time was up with the flashlight. Now this was in a place called the Loftorium Muse. It was a huge room that kind of looked like a museum. And in the back, I would shine the light on the wall to let the person know that their time was over. Well, Steve didn't go off. We had 2 shows, and Steve's still talking, and it's like a 8 and 10:30 show or something like that. 10 o'clock, Steve's still talking. We got a line outside. People are angry because they waiting, and the other show hadn't even ended yet. So Mary Lindsay, who was the manager of the club at the time, told me, I don't care what you do, you get Steve Harvey off stage. So I go up to as close as I could get to him, and I flash the light in his face. And when I put the light in his face, he got a little salty and cracked on me a little bit. But whatever he said, it really didn't bother me. I just didn't think much of it. So when he got done, this motherfucker walks up to me and looks at me and goes, you can't tell me shit about that stage. You might be able to tell me about basketball or some bullshit, but don't you ever tell me shit about this stage. Now, my first thought was, I should smack the shit out this dude. But at the same time, he had this giant guy standing behind him, used to sell his t-shirts. And to give you a little bit of that this is true, this guy Steve Harvey used to sell t-shirts that said, America's cracking up, but I don't get the joke. And at the time, crack was really fucking up the hood. And so he was selling these t-shirts, and this dude was the dude that was holding the t-shirts, and he was standing behind him. I've heard you talk about him. Big somebody or other is his name. I can't remember. But this dude is standing there, and I'm thinking, man, if I hit him, I'm probably going to get my ass. So when he said what he said, I just looked at him and I said, I don't know shit about basketball. And I walked away from him. But that night, I called my thug friends. I was like, hey man, I need y'all to come to the club, show a little sign of force, just so they'll know, just so this dude will know I'm not playing with him. And like clockwork, my guys showed up. I let them in. I sit them directly in the back of the room where they could see Steve and Steve could see them. And as they were sitting, and they were clearly gangsters. Like back then, they had on these Coogee sweaters and gazelle glasses and shit. When people used to wear them hats with the snake skin on the top of it, it was around that time. And they all came in carrying pistols. It was obvious. And they sat in the back. And right after that first incident with me and Steve disrespected another man by the name of James Hanna. James Hanna was one of the most prolific comedy writers ever. Like he, as a black dude, he was a man. He was at the top of everybody who knows about comedy knows James Hanna. And James Hanna walked up to Steve right after Steve had disrespected me. He walked up to Steve and said, Mr. Harvey, I'm a comedian. I'm also a writer, and I'd like to write for you. And Steve looked at him and said, if you think you got something funny enough for me to say, you need to say that shit yourself. And just walked away from the dude and disrespected him. So the next night, when folks and them was there, when the gangsters got there, they didn't say shit else to nobody. The two of them got away from all of us and sat by themselves. And then when the show was over, and my buddy gets up, he looks at me and goes, they used to call me Hollywood. He was like, hey, Hollywood, you want us to tear this bitch up? I was like, please don't. I got to work here next week. I just need them to know I'm from Chicago and I got people who love me here, and you just can't talk to me any kind of way. And once they left, once everything was over, the club owner was like, Rob, you know a lot of people. I was like, yes, sir. I was born and raised here. Just because I have a jolly demeanor don't mean if I can't get you hurt, if I don't hurt you, I can't find somebody who will. You know what I mean? That was the point of all of that. And then fast forward to like 3 years later. This happened in like 1991. So maybe around 1995, 1997. Steve Harvey.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
This is getting good. I like, you don't mind if I take myself off the screen when you talking, do you?
I don't care either way. I would prefer you be there because it's nice to have someone to look at.
What I'll say, but your humor, I want people to see your character. That's what I do. I don't just take the platform, I share the platform, you know what I'm saying? Because you have a story and you act it out really well. So let me ask you something. When you went and got the gangsters, what made you do that? Did you think Steve was going to do something to make you go back and feel that way?
Well, it was the way he spoke to me and the fact that what's that dude, this bodyguard dude, the big old black dude?
Boom.
He had that dude behind him as if to say, if you think you tough, holla at Boom. I was like, okay, I know niggas who are tougher than Boom, who have bullets that run much faster than Boom could run, and that will check him. And these dudes ain't big, they just killers. You understand what I'm saying? They don't play. Right. And when you call real people and they see these guys are not playing, even Boone knew what time it was, right? Mm-hmm. These guys will hurt you and get away with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. And see, people gotta realize that, like, there's a ethic code that everybody go by, but there's really a street code that, like, you keep messing with people, nobody's gonna be playing games with you because you don't never know who family you from. So come on now, you got to be careful about that. Y'all ain't on my booster seat today, so I'm just saying. I just have a damn booster seat. I didn't want to sit on no booster seat. I'm sorry, I was trying. Okay, so
maybe 3 to 5 years later, Steve Harvey used to do a top 10 on the radio. Top 10, whatever. James Hanna wrote all of his top 10s.
James Hanna. Hear that you guys, so all this time when someone say they write their own stuff, did you hear what this gentleman just said?
He did not. James Hanna was writing his top 10s. And after he told James, if you think you got something funny enough for me to say, you say that shit yourself. James Hanna, and if you want to know what James Hanna comedy stylings were like, he passed away. But James Hanna, you could find him on YouTube at something called Truth Paste. Truth.
Paste.
Yes, ma'am. Truth paste. And he do jokes like he would tell stories like, hey, once you get to your middle 30s, you need to let that whole thing go. Move somewhere else where don't nobody know you and get you a husband because your time is over with. Make room for the new hoes. And don't be all at the all-star game and shit.
Right. So he had a good sense of humor too. Was he a comedian though?
He was an amazing stand-up. Yes. And he passed away because Hollywood kind of blackballed him a little bit because he was not the type of guy that would sugarcoat anything. Like there was no tact in James Hanna. He was not at all like he couldn't be a Secretary of State and no shit because none of those things appealed to him. What the truth was, the way he saw it, was how he gave it to you without any feeling of how you felt about it, right? So he had talked to some people who were supposed to help him get a job and they didn't. And he told everybody about it. They called them bitches and shit. And these cats were kind of important in Hollywood. So he kind of got blackballed out of Hollywood and had to take a regular job. And ultimately, I feel like that's what killed him.
How old was he when he died?
Oh my God. He was like, he might have been 45, between 45 and 50. He wasn't even 50 years old yet.
What year did he die?
Ooh, let me look. I can't remember, but I can tell you this. If you look at some of the things James Hanna wrote became stock for Black comics. Like anytime you hear somebody go, "You Mississippi pimp, bitch better have my sweet potatoes," that was James Hanna. James Hanna told the dude one night, I was sitting in the audience when he told this dude, "Nigga, you about as country as a cornbread wedding cake." Where the hell does that come from?
Cornbread wedding cake, okay.
You know, so Hanna was one of those guys that, and you can tell for sure that a lot of what he wrote, other people were saying it. All a stock joke is a joke that enough people have stolen it that everybody get to use it. And that's what James Hanna's comebacks were stock became stock jokes.
He was so young when he died. Can I ask what he died from, or did you know?
He had a heart attack. He had a heart attack. He died in, oh my God, he died in 2000. He's born April 4th, 1968. He was a writer and producer on the Steve Harvey Show. My Wife and Kids, he produced and wrote on that. The Big House. And he died in 2014.
Wow.
Now, he said he wrote all that stuff. Now, even on his bio, it make mention of the fact that Hanna wrote for Harvey.
The truth shall set you free. Come on now. Get some truth over here today. Come on. Yeah. Secret ain't safe in the family ways. Can't keep secrets.
No. Come on now. And here's something else. I have a friend that was there with me. I can get her to talk about it. But basically what happened was she went to take one of her girlfriends to see Steve Harvey tape live. And a similar thing happened in that crowd too, where a young man, asked Steve if he could write for Steve. And Steve was like, "I don't use writers. I write all my shit myself."
And you just proved he was a lie. Absolutely. Ain't that something?
Absolutely.
See how people procrastinate in Hollywood? Nigga, you know you ain't wrote your jokes. That's why you ain't funny, because you had to remember your jokes. They didn't just come. They didn't just roll.
It is not shameful to have help with jokes. It is not shameful to have writers. What is shameful is to steal people's material or to claim that you don't have writers when you clearly do. There's where the shame is. And Steve, he's never been a nice guy. Steve used to be on the radio here in Chicago. And his birthday is the same day as mine. And they used to have this Capricorn ball in Chicago. And Steve had all these people coming to the party and stuff. And he was just sometimes like openly disrespectful to people. Like someone would ask him a question he didn't like. You could always tell when Steve was going. And a lot of times it was females. A lot of times he was very disrespectful to women. And you could tell when he was finna go in on a lady on the radio, because he'll say some shit like, lady. And when he starts saying lady, now he finna start telling her she's stupid or finding a way to be disrespectful to her. And
they
people
let
started
him.
not listening to him on the radio because of it.
But wait a minute though. So are you telling me back in the day? Because it's already enough that I be on here tolerating what I tolerate, but my shit's for a reason. Because he ain't gonna do another lady like he done did all the rest, and it's definitely not me. But are you telling me that he was on the radio calling women and stuff out their name?
He would call people stupid because there's only so much you could say on radio and not get in trouble.
Correct.
But he would openly challenge people's intelligence or make jokes about people not being intelligent based on the questions they asked if he didn't like the questions.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
So when he was rude to you, how did that make you feel?
I felt angry. And I felt like I needed revenge.
Why? Because of, I mean, that all that time, it Hart with you? It was the way that he did it, or,
The moment that he said what he said to me made me think, you think I'm your bitch. And when I start thinking that from, being from the south side of Chicago, you can't be nobody bitch. Because people will take your lunch money every goddamn day. You know what I mean? So right. I felt like I had to do something to get him to understand you can't push on me again.
Right.
And so that's why I called him.
So how many times did you actually come in contact with him? Was it just those 2 times, or was any time after that?
It was a few times after that because he was in Chicago a lot and I still worked at the club. But we never really spoke after that. He never said much else to me. I never said anything to him that I didn't, like if it was something I had to say, I would say it. But I didn't speak to him because I wanted him to understand you don't really exist in my world. I don't really need you. And to be honest with you, he's fairly funny. But even in being funny, people in Chicago are very defensive of the things that we hold dear. And all jokes aside, was brand new. They were struggling. They had a weird stage with a very simple backdrop, and he was talking about the backdrop, and this lady yelled out, "Least they trying." And when she said least day, the shit he said was brilliant. He was like, "Lease day? What the fuck is lease day? Is that the day when the payment on your Mercedes Benz is due? Lease day." He did like 5 minutes on lease day, and I was just thinking, like, damn, this dude is funny as hell to be such a dick.
Well, you know what? At least he used that to his advantage. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so he had some type of comeback, but it was for females said it, and he was ready to just pop off and stuff like that. But
Absolutely.
you seen him be disrespectful to women and men.
Oh, most definitely. Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, the things that he said to James Hanna and the way he said it to him just seemed kind of fucked up to me. And especially when you turn around and let him write for you, you said you didn't need him.
Yeah, but I was thinking too, I know James is deceased now, but what was James thinking? Did Steve come back and say, "Yo, you want to write for me"? Did you even know that he wrote for the Steve Harvey Show up until now?
I did know that he wrote for Steve Harvey Show. I think that once people see the shit that you do in your stand-up and see the responses you get, and you show your legitimate ability to write, then they will give you a job. You can get a job as a writer if you are funny enough to get it done, and you can show them how you can punch up their jokes. You can get a job as a writer. So it was just one of those things where, Steve seen James killing it everywhere he went on stage. He was blowing up, and Steve wanted some of that shine, and my man was willing to still write for him his top 10s. And he was writing other shit too, because clearly he was on the show, writing on the show, and getting that done. So,
well, how many years you think Mr. James wrote for him, and then how many years was him and Steve apart as far as age was concerned?
I don't think they were that far apart, but I don't know. I mean, I can look it up.
No, I was just asking out of curiosity because you've been around him. So Mr. James was no punk though. He was like, was he about that life or was he real? Let me tell y'all something before he answer that. Y'all better watch Quiet People, and y'all better look at this man. Overly Nice. Y'all better watch them kind of people. Let the guys get out there and get you hooked up real quick. Don't get caught slipping because you see that smile and he got that little cool demeanor. Because, baby, when they go off or when you go off with that smooth, baby, it's like a bombshell. I just want to tell y'all that because he's so sweet and mannerable, ain't he? But I could imagine if you piss this brother off, what will happen?
Over the years, I've gotten more calm because I read energy differently. I'm not as insecure, so I don't catch as many feelings about silly shit people say because ultimately, most of the time when you got a beef with a black person, it's because it has something to do with white supremacy. So when I look at your flaws as an individual, no matter what you've done to me, I'm not angry with you. I'm angry with the system that made you think you would have to do some shit like whatever it is you did that offended me. You understand what I mean? Like whatever fed into your insecurities enough for you to say the shit that I didn't like, it probably has something to do with the yoke of white supremacy, with the way these people have made you have to feel like you got to compete for shit. Because white supremacy ultimately is what gives you capitalism, right? And you got to make a buck no matter what, and you will do shit that, you know, that is questionable to get that dollar. So I blame the system and the people more than them. So a lot of the time I don't get as angry as I used to, but when I was younger, I did have straight up anger issues. I've been in the military. I was the police for a little while. I have all type of mental shit going on from having been the police, because it's a constant tug and pull and push with the law enforcement system, and it's not designed for black people to win. There's two different doctrines of policing. One of them is the English doctrine that kind of tells you that as a police, you are also a citizen, so you are serving the people that you police. And then there is the Barbados doctrine of how you treat slaves, and that's the doctrine that they give us as the police. So I don't get angry like I used to. I sort of, and I'm getting too old to be fighting and shit. I got young people who will bust their ass for me. I don't really do that
But wait, you just said something. So are you saying that being a police officer, there are two criteria of doctrine, and they're saying that when you got a victim, I would say, or a person, they're gonna make them use it on the slave mentality instead of that's in writing?
Well, you can Google the slave doctrine, and you can also Google the English police doctrine. And the biggest difference is in the two.
Put that in the box. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And the difference between the two is that one of them talks about policing citizenry, and the other talks about checking slaves. So even if they don't say that they use them both, it is clear that they do based on the behavior of the police in the street. Even if the cops don't know it, they still serve it. You see what I'm saying? It's just like any other thing. When people tell you who they are, believe them. And that's exactly what the police do. That's exactly what, if you ask some officers, I'm not all officers, but the system puts you in a position. The moment you challenge their authority, it snaps. Like, can I see your ID? Why? If you don't give me your ID, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. It goes straight from your questioning in the first fucking time.
Yeah.
To violence. I never got into fights in the jail. I never got into. Everybody else would fight, but I never started or had to defend myself in the jail maybe one time. Because I didn't go around like I was gonna buffalo nobody. And I knew most of these guys, and if I didn't know them, I knew someone similar to them. So I understood that my position was easily taken from me as theirs had been taken from them. So I treated black people like I wanted to be treated. That's what I mean when I say you got to find a reason to love yourself. Even with Steve Harvey, I know he's an asshole. He's shitty. He is all of the things that we say he is, but he also is still black in America and feel like he got to act like an ass to get a dollar, or act like an ass to keep people off of his secrets and all that. It is what it is. And so that's why, again, that second doctrine, that thing's not about policing as much as it is about making you submit.
Well, I'm gonna research that afterwards. Okay, so you went through all this, and like when you was talking to your mail lady and then found out all this stuff was going on with Steve Harvey, was you like, it's time for me to set some shit straight on this situation? I need to let some shit out. I need to say what I say the way I say it, and I need you guys to listen to what I'm saying the way I say it.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
when you first of all, you were saying when you was watching, and then the mail lady told you. So you went and watched me first, make sure I had good sense, or why did you go watch first? Just wanted to see for yourself?
Absolutely. Well, anytime someone tells you anything, you do need to do some due diligence. And so when they said Essie Berry, I was like, okay, Rerun's wife, okay, because I was a chubby kid, you know what I mean? So Rerun was a hero to me. You know what I mean? I'm like, if you see black excellence coming from this dude, then maybe I got a shot. You know what I mean? And so when I heard your name and that you were related to him, I was like, well, let me see more. And then I saw the pictures. I was like, okay, she's kind of cute too. All right, I can feel all of this.
But thank you, sister. Shot. Don't you say that. Oh my. Did y'all hear? What? Am I cute? Okay, let me quit. Thank you for that.
You are so very welcome. So when I started listening, I was like, okay, because some of the stuff, like I'm looking forward to the 2-part series thing to sit down and watch it, because some of the stuff I couldn't figure it out chronologically. Because the videos, there's so many videos, and the ones that got the most views come out first, or they show you those first on the page and stuff like that. When I Googled your name, and I seen you on someone else's show talking about what happened between you and Steve. And then I found your show, and then I subscribed and then hit the button to let me know every time you come online, because I wanted to watch.
Well, thank you for that. That makes me, because I wanted that, you know what I'm saying? Because when certain things happen, people don't know. Like you can hold things and harp things for a long time. Some things you see, it may be a trigger point. And I had to talk to someone about that too today. Even the things that's going on that you seen, you ain't been watching that long, and you were able to break so much down. I was like, look at this man. He didn't look like he done watched for a long time, and you were breaking things down. And then how you said Steve spoke, that's how he speak. Y'all know it. That's how he talks. He has that demeanor. And, if you about that and you think you're the boss and the old OG, then that's fine. But what I realize is I'm going to give what you give to me. And not just this gentleman. There's so many people that came to me that's telling me how this man is. But we set him as a role model. And I'm not trying to bash him. I want him to hear, because he always jumping over here on this page. I want him to hear what you done did to people in their life, not just including me. I'm just that voice to set history straight for all the people that Steve did violate, because I don't care. You get what I'm saying? I got a whole lot of people running through me. And then to see people being victimized, and then, you see people and you think one thing. And when this man told me that Steve didn't write his own jokes, I was like, well, damn, that's why he ain't really funny like that. He's funny naturally, like certain things, you know what I'm saying? He would be better just being himself, but somebody writing your jokes for you, to me, that's telling me that you got to remember what the hell is funny and what's not. Where they do that at? Where they do that at? Like, how the hell you going to remember to make somebody laugh? Like, really? That's new to me. And I didn't know that people write your jokes for you.
Not everyone can afford writers. Steve clearly can't. Some people, you can't afford them, you have to write them yourself. But what we do as comedians with each other, if I'm sitting with you telling me about your joke, I can pretty much give you a quick breakdown on how to make better. Who's an aspiring comedy. All you need is 2 things: to set up punchline. And for every setup, there should be some sort of punchline. If you're a storyteller, there needs to be setup and punchline in each part of the story until you get to the big payoff at the end. And what you want to do is generally erase all of the unnecessary words, right? Anything that doesn't fit those 2 things, you gotta get rid of them. So that's how we help each other. So I'll sit with my comedian friend and be like, okay, right, take this, I add this. You should say this, you should say that. You want to talk about, and they write it for you. Or you tell them the joke and they correct it for
you. See me, like, and I try to find it. I had people ask me what I want to come from a comedy. I was like, this nigga gonna be there. And he gonna be there. You it's straightforward. But like, to me, that makes the best comedians, like Bernie Mac. Did you ever meet Bernie Mac?
Bernie, I was one of Bernie Mac's acolytes. I followed him every fucking where. I'm saying Bernie Mac was so the fucking truth. Now, the thing about Bernie is Bernie was harsh, but if you want what he got, you got to listen to him, right? So like Bernie would say shit to check you, but at the same time will say something to compliment you. But the shit he said to check you would fuck you up. Like, one time I was
So he
on
was very
87.
sincere. He was very sincere.
He was, yes, you could not get more honest than this dude. One time I was with Bernie on a place on 87th and Stony Island. This is like the hood. This is what people, not the hoodie hood. It's just working class people who go to this place. All they want to do is drink a few drinks, flirt with some chicks, and go home. That's it. But he put a comedy show in it. And it wasn't set up for comedy at all. But he Bernie Mac. You're not going to deny Bernie Mac. So Bernie Mac would go on stage and he's emceeing. Now, MC, I'm supposed to do 10, 15 minutes. Bernie would go on stage and do 45 minutes of hilarity and then introduce you. That's a closing set. So now you got to go up and follow him. And he was killing it in this little South Side room. I go up with my little cutesy tootsy shit. Them niggas is like, fuck you. We ain't come here for this. Put that other nigga back up. And as I'm walking off stage, he's walking past me and he looks at me and says, one of these days you're going to stop fucking up. And then as he says this, the whole audience could hear him. And then he says, as he's still walking past me on stage, as if he ready to fight, he was like, if I could make him laugh, you could make him laugh. And that kind of stuck with me. I was like, damn, you trying to tell me I'm as good as you, nigga? But that's who he was. Like, he would give you a compliment after he destroyed you. He told one of my friends, one of my guys, he was like, hey, it's a damn shame when you can't entertain your own people. Like, who does that to you? Who says that? And Bernie had a Monday night show. He had his own personal Monday night show at a place called the Cotton Club in Chicago. It started at midnight on Monday. So nobody in there got a job. It ain't nobody there who has a job. And he would sit in there and would talk. And he would open the show with 30, 35 minutes, then put you up, then put up a few other guys, and then do time in between. The show wouldn't end until like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But every night them gangsters would be in there and he would entertain the hell out of them. And it made him so hard that you just couldn't beat him. Like an audience, one time I seen him have a hard time and it lasted all of 10 minutes. He was talking, the gangsters was talking too, like he wasn't on stage. But I swear to God, Bernie sat down to the piano. It was a piano on stage. Do you know who the dude who played Hippo in Car Wash?
I gotta go and watch now.
His name, oh my God. He used to have a show before Bernie's and he would sing. And he was extremely entertaining, but it was not the same as Bernie's show. He was an older dude and he was saying older shit. And the people his show was at 10. So people hurried up, left before Bernie got there because those people were older people. And so there was a piano on stage, right? And Bernie sat down to the piano and started playing piano. Nobody knew he could play piano, right? So as people started to groove with him and listening to him, he slammed the piano shut, stood up, and started yelling at everybody in the front row. You motherfuckers should have been listening to me from the beginning. Look at you with that bullshit ass t-shirt on, look like it. And they just start going in on these guys. And after that, the audience did nothing but listen. And he was really angry, but they loved every ounce of the shit that he said to them, no matter how horrible. No matter.
So it wasn't even comedy. He just straight started checking niggas in the audience because then again, that's some stuff I would do. I would be like, y'all don't see me the fuck up here. You just want to keep over here about, nigga, you don't see me. I'm 4'9". Y'all got y'all. I would have did the same thing, Bernie. Hats off to you.
Man, he was amazing. And there was another time. This shit was so funny to me. We were in the back of All Jokes Aside, and he came out as this outfit, and he looks at me, goes, "How you think I look, Rob?" I was like, "Man, Bernie, that's good for you." He said, "The fuck you mean for me?" And then he started going in. What you saying? What you saying? I'm wearing some Geronimo ass shit. This is what you saying? It's okay for an old nigga to wear Geronimo. The dude was harsh, but he was Chicago. He was an older Chicago black dude. And if you want what an older Chicago black dude got in the way of his knowledge, you got to earn it. You got to put up with him. You got to deal with the shit he tell you to do, or you don't get what you want. You know what I mean? And if it's worth enough to you, then you let them talk to you how they talk to you.
So Bernie Mac was from Chicago?
Yes, ma'am. From the same neighborhood as me.
No,
He went to the same high school I went to.
he went to the same high school you went to?
Mm-hmm. CVS. It's a bunch of comics from Chicago who were Bernie wasn't born in January, but it's a bunch of comics that were born in January, and a few of them went to CVS. I don't know. I know for sure there was somebody else that went. I'm trying to think. I don't know if Deion Cole went to CVS, but he is born in January. But it's a bunch of Chicago comics that are. I'm trying to remember this guy's name. I wanted y'all to, because when I tell you his name, I'm sure you're gonna know who he is. And but the long and short of it is, yeah, Bernie was that dude, and I followed him around everywhere. As a matter of fact, the first night I started, Bernie's buddy, it was the dude that was running his show with him. His name was Evan Lionel. Evan Lionel introduced me to Bernie as I came off stage for my first time being on stage.
So the other two comedians, DL or Cedric, did you meet them?
I met DL and Cedric. Yeah, I don't know if DL would remember this, but back in 1990, I started in 91. By 1993, I had 3 TV appearances. That was unheard of. I was one of the first 3 people to go do Comic View from Chicago. It was myself, it was B. Cole, and a dude named Alan Edge. They didn't pick Bernie, they didn't pick none of those other cats. They picked the 3 of us to do, and this was when DL Hughley still hosted Comic View, and they would do it from a remote site. So DL would host from from LA, and then he'd go, we're gonna shoot it over to Chicago, and then they would show you on stage in Chicago. That was the first Comic View.
So when Bernie passed away, did you go to his funeral or you didn't get to go?
I went to his memorial service at that big mega church. What's this dude? I can't even think of the cat's name, but it's a mega church, and they had it there, the House of Praise or some like that, and they had it there. And I went to the memorial service. Because at one point when Bernie got big, he kind of wasn't accessible anymore. And I'm not. I mean, you know, it kind of is what it is. The fact of the matter is, if you're making the type of money that Bernie was making, they keep your days filled. You know what I mean? You got to keep that goose laying them golden eggs.
Well,
so he was not accessible for a long time.
Well, okay, so you knew Steve and about him, and then it was Bernie. They hadn't started King of Comedies yet, or had they?
Oh, this was in 91. Bernie wasn't even famous yet.
So Bernie didn't know Steve at that time?
Bernie had probably met Steve because Steve came to All Jokes Aside. But Bernie wasn't really big on All Jokes Aside because Bernie felt like they should have acknowledged every club that because we didn't have comedy clubs then. We just had nights. And Bernie ran a night before I started in Robert's 500 room on the south side of Chicago. And Bernie wanted them to acknowledge that. And he wanted it to be someone from Chicago who started the first comedy club. So he kind of had a little bit of odd relationship with them. He headlined there, but he didn't headline nowhere near as much as he should have. And that was of his own choosing in my estimation. And before then, Bernie wasn't, Bernie didn't really know. I don't think that him and Steve knew each other than when Steve came to town. I think that's when they met, but I can't tell you that for sure.
You are very articulate. I like that. You're very articulate. So when you graduated, what did you major in? What was your major before? Because you say you was I'm just curious, because you say you was a guard in the jailhouse, right? In the prison, right? So like, I'm just asking, like, this shit like amazing. I may be like, listen, fellas, I need to explain some things to you. And I bet they'd be like, yeah, you'll make a person listen. So I'm just asking, was there something that you majored in? Like
architectural drafting.
So you build.
I can draw. Yeah, I can. That was in high school, but I could pick up a triangle and a board, and I could draw buildings. Yes.
So, do you still do comedy and stuff right now?
I do comedy. I have a show in Chicago. It's called The House of Hines, and it's every month. The next show is on the 13th of December, and it's going to be at the Laugh Factory in Chicago, 3175 North Broadway. And you can follow House of Hines and my page on Instagram. There's a House of Hines page on Instagram.
So, do you have a house on YouTube, or you just on Instagram?
It's just on Instagram. My YouTube page is Robert L. Hines. Now that we're getting into this, there are some things that I would like to explain to you. I don't know if you had a chance, because Miss Berry, I have been seeing some of the stuff that you were going through, and some of the people don't understand this legal shit is crazy. Like, one word could change the meaning of everything, and it could make you lose your case. So you have to be very meticulous in how you write and what you say.
Correct.
Because these people be on it. I did something that went viral. A lot of the people, maybe not a lot of black people, but a whole lot of young white folks still remember me. I did a character with a couple of guys called Toby Jones.
Put that down in the box, Toby Jones.
The very first video was called Jones Big Ass Truck Renter and Storage Facility.
Say it one more time. Say the name one more time.
Jones Big Ass Truck Renter and Storage Facility.
Put it down there.
The video was called Jones Good Ass Barbecue and Foot Massage. And the third one was called Jones Cheap Ass Prepaid Legal and Daycare Academy. And the guys that I did it with was a sketch group called Big Dog Eat Child. That's their YouTube page. Big Dog Eat Child.
Big Dog Eat Child. Put that down like over research. Big Dog Eat Child.
Yes.
Okay, so because it's gonna mean something, I think, when you tell me. Go ahead. Okay.
There was 8 of these gentlemen or 7 of these gentlemen in this improv group, and they saw me perform in a coffee house. And they talked to me and they was like, listen, we got this character we cannot figure out how to make work. Will you come shoot a video for us? And I said, sure, I will. I'm always about helping new comics because I want to give it like I got it. You know, Bernie spent a lot of time with me. A lot of other comics spent a lot of time with me. So I want to give back that love. And what happened is we do the sketch. It gets really popular really quick. Like, it was crazy. This was 2008 when YouTube was really new. And the first video went up was Jones Big Ass Truck Renter and Storage. And in a month, it got 500,000 views. And it started to be on, like, they had something called the Pepsi 6-pack. And it was a group of commercials group of YouTube videos that they put up. And one of them was that one. The whole point of these videos, they were all fake commercials. And they had a phone number attached to them. And people would call the number, and it just got so bad. My wife was like, hey, fuck that. Put that phone away. People would just call me constantly, and I would take their calls for these guys. And we created these videos. And the first video, when we created them, I was suffering from kidney failure. And I was about to lose kidney function. And it was one part in the first video where I kind of collapsed sitting down because I was so tired, and I used to weigh 320 pounds. And a lot of this, ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest to one another. A lot of this shit has to do with self-hate. Certain things we do to ourselves, we may not understand it, we may not know why we're wired that way. But when you don't love yourself enough, you allow yourself to get that big. You allow yourself, to get those addictions and let them play out like that. And I was dying. I had kidney failure. And they showed me this one clip at the end of the video. You have to see the whole video to know what I'm saying. Where I sit down because I'm exhausted. And I just sort of sit down and flop down. And they look at me and go, we thought this was the funniest shit ever. And I started thinking, well, wait a minute. I'm tired. I'm sick right there. And y'all think that's funny? I was dying and they thought it was funny. Well, originally, let me just go back. Big Dog Eat Child used to be 8 guys. When the Jones videos start to get popular, they took away the Big Dog Eat Child website, YouTube page, from the rest of the group. And when they did that, they didn't even list those guys as being helpful on the video until after I pointed it out. And then and they took the most valuable parts and they kept them for themselves, right? And that was the most valuable part, was the 3 videos that I made for them. Then I made a bunch of other videos, like there were people would call up and ask questions, and I would do Ask Toby videos, and those got hundreds of thousands of views by themselves. So after all of this is over, about 2019, because in 2015, the second video, Jones Jazz Barbecue and Foot Massage, it had a jingle to it. It got 25 million views. And when it went viral, that song, I made that song up on the spot. Yes, ma'am.
Hold on a minute. I see y'all saying it look choppy. Y'all need to check it on your end, because I hear him very clearly on my end. So maybe it's something on one of y'all end. So you'll have to go back and hear it, because I'm not sure what sounds choppy. Check your computer, check your speakers, go back in, because I hear him very clearly. If you don't, get you another computer. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm going to interview. So y'all better go back and go get somebody's computer and listen to it later. Go get your phone. I'm sorry. So you said you did the music.
I did the song. So we couldn't get in the location. If you look at the video, it's me and a guy in a chicken suit and a dinosaur suit dancing, and then I sing the song. And this is the jingle, real quick. Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. Better come down here and get some of this shit. That's the whole jingle. I asked them for a partnership in 2019 because what was supposed to happen once the first video went viral, they started selling t-shirts. So when they sold the t-shirts, everybody's breaking up sound. I think, and maybe it's some on my end. I don't know, but it seems.
But I hear you good. I mean, I don't know.
All right, well, we can just keep going.
Yeah, keep going. I'm sorry. Rewind. Get a new phone.
But you know what's really? I'm seeing these comments. These comments are from the beginning of the show, from earlier in the show.
Oh, okay. That might be it then too. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Now I'm seeing stuff about Bernie now.
Okay, because I'm slow with. Look, this a lot running this over here like this. C-Love is good at this shit. I ain't good with it. So
man, it ain't no secret. It's a lot.
I like that voice thing. Give me that one more time. That what was that hook?
Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. Better come down here and get some of this shit. Okay. I even wrote a song after that because of the fact that we were going through all this. But what actually happened is they were selling t-shirts with my face on them. I only asked them for 20% of the t-shirt sales. And they got mad and wanted to take some of that back because I wouldn't sit with them and stuff t-shirts in a bag. Now you selling t-shirts with my image on it. And you mad at me because I ain't got time to be pushing these t-shirts. This was back before there were those places that you can go to China and get the full t-shirt made. And, before that, you had to go get the t-shirts made, pack them, and sell them yourself. And so our original agreement that I signed a whack-ass contract. Original agreement that I signed said that I would get 20% of everything that was made, including they were starting to license it. They only licensed it a couple of times to a couple of TV shows. When they licensed it, I would get 30% of that, and then it went up to like 50, but I never really got all that I was supposed to get. So but according to their contract, it says like 20 or 30% or whatever it says. It's in the contract in the packet that I sent you.
Okay.
The first 2 years they paid me. Then after that, by the third year, they didn't want to pay me anymore. So they stopped paying me. So they didn't pay me anything. Now, in that time, the YouTube page got bigger and bigger. And then YouTube started paying people AdSense, where, you get money for the ads that they ran on their page. They didn't pay me any of that money. I didn't even know that was a thing. Them people had an entire, if you get 100,000 followers on YouTube, they give you a plaque. Didn't even know they had a plaque. Didn't know none of this shit. So when I find all this shit out in 2019, I asked them for a partnership. I'm saying, hey guys, we need to reassess this. We need to do a partnership. Maybe I do some videos for you. You do some videos for me. You know what I mean? Maybe we figure out how we get both platforms involved. Somehow I need to start making money because I'm not making any. And they told me, no, but we think you did this in the spirit of wanting to do more videos. So we want to do more videos with you, but we don't want a partnership.
Oh, you want to pimp me like I'm a hoe.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
pimping ain't easy, but y'all want to do it. How the hell do that sound?
where they do that at?
Where do they do that at?
The math just wasn't mathing, baby. So I said, listen.
Is the site up right now, though? The YouTube platform. What's the name of the YouTube site again? Y'all, we gonna check this out. We gonna
Big Dog Eat Child
Big Dog Eat Child. That's the name
of the YouTube page.
YouTube site. So now, all that, I ain't gonna tell you all, but keep going, because like this already. First of all, you can't just put somebody's face on something, because if that's the case, y'all will see Rerun face on everything. I can go stat some shit down real quick. So no, you can't do that. Then if he really wanted to be shitty about it, so y'all better take notes, Big Dog Eat Child. He could go right now and tell YouTube that he can flag all their shit and take it down, because I don't care what the contract is. Was it like, they put that in Hollywood, perpetuity, something forever? Was that word in there?
That is exactly what it was. Throughout perpetuity.
They tried to get me like that, y'all.
Perpetuity. I signed the same thing for Comic View. Comic View did the same shit. Is that they own what you did throughout the universe through perpetuity. Yes, ma'am.
That word right there was how they was trying to get me the sign of a Rerun likeness. Now I'm country and I'm articulate, but when the words get too big and I can't pronounce that shit, I call my friend and say, yo, Clyde, I'm giving in front of all the white people. I'm at the table. I need to spell this word to you. And he spelled it. I say, what does that mean? He said, hold up. I guess looking. And he said to relinquish your rights for the rest of your life. I said, what you say? Mind you, there was a great bit of money on the table for me to release Rerun's legacy. But I was like, damn, if y'all can offer me this kind of money for his legacy, it's going to be worth more back whenever. You get what I'm saying? So when he said relinquish your rights, I took that contract. Here you go. I'll pass. Because that meant I couldn't do no book. I couldn't do nothing. But people got to realize, was there a lawyer involved?
Not in my contract initially, no.
So ignorance of the law, and then you tried to allude to the fact that it was something else, but then when it started going to another funding source, because your ass can't take it nowhere else now. I got to see the contract, but I know that word and one called favorite nation. I didn't like the favorite, and I ain't like the nation, because what nation is we joining? So favorite nation means that everybody get paid the same thing. It don't matter who face is big. And didn't I learn? I got my ass whooped through Hollywood learning about contracts. So when I saw that, just hypothetically showing y'all, I'm good at what I do. So you listening too. So it was on. I'm not even gonna tell y'all the station was on. It was one where they did the greatest things about being fat. I didn't like that title and I didn't like that name, but they had my husband on there and they wanted to show the other people. So I was like, okay, I may sign it, because the other characters from What's Happening was affiliated with it too. So I'm learning as I go through Hollywood, because this is some doggy dog eat shit. So all that went on, and so I was the very last one to sign a contract because I didn't like the name. So they was like, Miss Berry, you wanted to change the name? Why you couldn't put heavy set? Why you couldn't put big? You want to put fat. So it was like a comedy of mocking Fred. Even though he was dead, I didn't care. Right. So I waited to the last minute, because on that document, it said maybe one time of airing or something like that, right? And it's like $7.99 per airing, because you're going through the level of the Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA. So if you're signed with the Screen Acting and the AFTRA, it's like $7.99. I don't care what you do, how you do it, that time when they air it. What they messed up at, they sent me that little bull Twinkie contract. And that's what it was. I was finna say something else. Bull Twinkie contract. And then they didn't read it. Right? So I'm watching this, thinking that's going to air one time. The shit went through the roof, y'all. It went through the roof. It went through the roof that every day it was playing. And I went back through and I'm counting. And so then I go on the network and see how many times. I say, these niggas that aired this 52 times, and you just told me once. Okay. Because at any time if a contract come in your face, you can renegotiate. And one word, as he said, change. So that one word that they said you took out, where they said favorite nation, I took it out. They messed around and I signed the contract and they didn't read it. I called the network, say, yo, I need $7.99, 52 more times. And they was like, what are you talking about? I said what I said the way I said it. I counted 52 times and I want 52 times $7.99.
Write my check.
Write that damn check, please. So then they're pissed because they said that you changed the contract. I told their ass you should have read it. How about you should have read it? So I probably go in there and find one word and strike that down. But hypothetically saying, they want to play that game with you. You can't YouTube, get your face off that, shut all that shit down. Because you still a part of that. And then I still got to see. Because like you can't keep taking somebody's stuff to another level. But that one word, they will take that one word and run with it. And they'll took your whole legacy.
Yep. Well, how I found out what most favorite nations meant is through those guys. We were there were several commercial opportunities. This thing was really huge. The NBA, Steph Curry would sing and dance to the song before playoff games. It was everywhere. And I wasn't getting a nickel. And so what wound up happening was that I had an opportunity to be the face of Spirit Airlines. They wanted Toby Jones to sell airline. I was going, look, girl, do you know I'd have had niggas in Wyoming? You understand? I'd have had black people buying tickets everywhere. And so when they wanted to do a test spot, and at the time I was really popular in Cleveland. So they wanted to do a test spot in Akron. I was like, ooh wee, I'm finna slam dunk this shit. And the next thing you know, I'm gonna be the nigga Flow.
Right.
I'm gonna be Black Flow. I'm gonna be popular as fuck. And so when I sent them the contract, I said, listen, guys, please, let's let this happen. Just get a contract with me. Take 20% of what I make, since that's what you offered me, and we'll see what happens. Let's just do because the first one I wanted to do just a test, and it was worth a few $1,000s. But the actual real commercial could have been worth millions. And so when I asked them for the amount I asked them, they asked for twice what I asked. So then the ad company was like, hey guys, we will give him that much money, but we don't want to give them that much money. And it was like, okay, well, I'll tell you what, let's do, they tell the big dog guys, because it wasn't the whole big dog. That's the other thing. It's Pedro and Romero Castro. Those are the guys who are giving me all these problems, right? Pedro and Romero Castro.
I just want to ask, no offense taken, are they black? Because they're
Latin, but they're not regular Latin. They're like really kind of white Latin, but they're Latin.
Pedro. And what's Estro? Pedro Estro. Y'all know y'all wrong for this throw. Y'all should be shaming y'all popo. Low, Estro. Poligo.
Pedro and Romero Castro is the yes, big ass truck rental and storage. I see them coming up with the name. So look, so this is what happens. They tell the ad agency that we want most favorite nation status. Now, what that means is that everybody make the same amount of money. They don't got to go to Cleveland. They don't got to get in the airplane. They ain't got to pack shit. They don't have to perform. They didn't have to do nothing but say that I could use the character, right? So when they, and this wasn't the first commercial they fucked up. They fucked up a few. So when they fucked up that commercial, I was like, I think I'm done with this. I'm going to move on. And they still wouldn't pay me. And I didn't know that every month they get money. I don't know how much, but when you got 100,000 people on YouTube, they pay you every month. I didn't know
that. You get a check whether you do videos or not.
I don't know how many videos they could do because they don't do no videos because I won't do them anymore. And they don't have anything new. They put up one new video in the past few years. Even the other new videos that they put up were all me that they had archived. They had a bunch of videos that they kept and they put them up. Didn't even tell me they put them up or nothing, right?
No copies of them?
Huh?
You don't have any copies?
No, they were their videos. They edited the videos, right? I let them tape me. They edited the videos. We had a contract. I was supposed to get 20%. Then I think it went up to 30 or some shit when the second contract came. Because there was a second contract because it got a TV pilot. We actually had a TV pilot. I will send you the pilot when we get off air. But we actually had a TV pilot. It was called Toby Makes a Million. But in the process of all this happening, by the time from 2015, it got super popular. And by 2019, they hadn't paid me since 2015. Actually, they hadn't paid me since 2010. So they wanted to do more videos because for one while I was really working hard with Hannibal Buress. And when they seen Hannibal come around, they started sniffing around, figuring out how they can get some of that Hannibal money, was really what they was looking for. So they said, we want to do more videos. We'll pay you your back pay. Because I said, listen, guys, I'm not comfortable working with y'all. Y'all ain't even paid me in years.
And what was the back pay? What was it? Did you know?
I didn't have any idea because I never got a fair accounting. I don't know what they made. You feel me? They never gave me a fair accounting. I didn't even know that I could get that from them until my attorney got involved. And she was only contractual. She was not a trial attorney. I need somebody to go into the courtroom with these guys. They need to understand. But here's what happened. When I found out that they didn't want to part with me in 2019, I copywrote just the song because I know I created that off the top of my head. So that Jones Barbecue song, I copywrote that. When they got the copyright, their lawyer instantly sent me a letter saying that they were going to sue me for copyright infringement, but they didn't copyright it. So what they did instead, they copywrote every other title. They copywrote all the videos. They copywrote the name. Then they went back and copywrote the song and changed the name so that it could be a little different. Well, what I didn't know at the time is that you can't copyright, according to the Copyright Office, just one part of a title. You got to copyright everything. So since they copyright everything around me, they wind up making my copyright get booted out and invalid, even though mine was first. If you look at the numbers, it'll show it. Everything about it will show it. And when I got my copyright, I went straight to YouTube and I said, take down the first 7 seconds because that's me. YouTube took down the whole video. So when they got that video taken down, them motherfuckers went straight into fight mode, copyrighted everything else, and then got my YouTube page taken down, got my TikTok taken down for copyright infringement because I was mentioning
right there.
Huh?
I was like, that's that bullshit right there.
I had 260,000 followers on TikTok. They took it down. I only had 2,500 on YouTube, but on YouTube, I would practice shit and see how it would go on YouTube before I took it to TikTok, Instagram, and anywhere else. Because I didn't have as many followers, so I didn't feel bad if it didn't go well. You know what I mean? It was my test space. They took it all. They took both of those down. The only reason they didn't take down Facebook and Instagram is because I was telling them what was happening. And they wanted to keep being updated, so they didn't take those down. But they started, they hired a troll farm to start inboxing me as if I was getting Facebook violations for having said something about them. So I can show you pictures of all these Facebook meta violations that weren't real. It was them through their troll farm. So after all of this happened, because I copywrote the song, they came at me with both barrels. So my wife and I, she was sitting down. She said, you know what? You should do something different. I said, what would that be? She said, you should start posting the terms chicken plus dinosaur equal bitches, because Pedro and Romero are in that chicken and dinosaur costume in the video dancing with me. So I've been doing this campaign on all of my social media, chicken plus dinosaur equal bitches. If you could, I'd like you to say that for me when we get done with this and send it to me, and I'm gonna put it up as you. But the reason that we doing all this is because I could not afford to spend $25,000 for a lawyer right now. And at this point, these guys are actually copywriting my image. If you look on their they changed it since I mentioned it to a few people because people started asking about it. and they're under a little bit of pressure. And this platform is amazing because there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be talking about it and be making comments on their YouTube page. You know what I mean? But what they actually did was, these cats, not only did they copyright, they copywrote my image, and I had a store for about a half hour. I paid money to this lady to create products for me. I paid money for the products. I spent well over $5,000. Well over $5,000. My store was up a half hour and made $175 because my niece posted it on Twitter that I was in a legal battle with these guys, and if you could help, they would appreciate it. And when they put the shit up, 2.2 million people seen it. The first 20 minutes, the motherfuckers took my site down, kept their site up, and they have my image on their Big Dog Eat Child website, on their spreadsheet store, a page and a half of nothing but me.
And still got that up now.
Still got it up now. And here's where you can find it, because these dirty motherfuckers, they on the first page that says Big Dog Eat Child, if you click on the store there, it only has things that says Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. Doesn't have my picture on it. But if you look at the page that has the actual Jones videos, each one of those pages, they attach a store that is all me. Page after page of shit that is me. And the first 2 or 3 things that I guess they sold the most of, they're trying to trademark that now. And it is clearly me that they are trademarking. And if you can't stop them in court, you can't stop them. You can't just go to trademark office and say, hey, what's this bullshit? You got to actually get in court to stop these guys.
Yeah, because you can't. I might have somebody for you too in Chicago, but you can't. I wish the fuck you take my face and you put my face. Do you know that's why y'all ain't seen Rerun? Because people tried that. I will snatch your shit down so fast unless I choose not to. And we can get this shit up here too. There's a right way and a wrong way. But if a person is still living, you can't do that. And if a person is deceased, so remember, if a person is deceased, like in the state of California, they have what you call a successor of interest. Everything about that person, you can trademark that. So if that person dies, it becomes the same entity. You just can't have it. You can't just take your face and do that. And I don't know what judge is going to, unless they fucking paid off. I don't know no judge that's going to let some Latin, esse, passe, tresse, single, stress, forever. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say that. You know, like y'all another race and you trying to take the black race. That made me think about when they tried to own Rerun's likeness. That's like taking your likeness and saying you could use, I'm going to use your likeness, but you can't use your own likeness. That's what they did to Rerun. And he went to court and he won. So I would have to really see the paperwork. But I know that thing what you talking about, no, that ain't going to stand. You can't do that. You can't do that.
No, but I do have to get in court to do it. And I found one lawyer. I don't know if they can still see me because I'm frozen on our screen. Am I frozen on your screen?
Yeah, you frozen, but they can still see you. I can see you too. I can hear you. Okay,
well, what I did was I went and looked at a few lawyers. It was a sister that I wanted to use. She was like $500 an hour, and I think it's like a $10,000 retainer or something. Because when you go into these court sessions, it takes forever to do it, and people need to get paid for their time and everything. But here's what happens. If I sue you, Miss Berry, and I lose, then I got to pay for your attorneys. So they were never going to sue me because they knew that they didn't pay me. The whole point of a contract is to establish payment. It's the whole point. Like, what is the other point of capitalism other than making the money? So we had a signed contract that they didn't pay. If they'd have just kept paying me, they could have kept my likeness for fucking ever. But because they didn't pay me, since they didn't pay me, you don't own it anymore. Now, according to what I read in the law, it's kind of 50-50. It's the two parties involved. That's who's supposed to get the benefits of it.
Okay, you still ain't moving. If you want to go out and come back in, you can do that, or you can just stay like you are.
I ain't even moving. I don't know how to come. Let me see. Okay, I'll try.
Yeah, you can click all the way out and then click that link I sent you. Click back in. Because I mean, I'm sure they like your emotions.
Okay, I'll come right back. Here I come.
Okay. I'm gonna say something. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
He's so polite, ain't he? That piss him off. I bet he won't be saying that. Yes, ma'am. Then y'all get that back, nice guy. So listen, you guys. If you sign a contract, you want me to remove you and they bring you back up?
Yeah, it's not even letting me close it. It's my
Let me
computer's going through something. I might have to shut my whole thing down. Let me see.
let me remove you out, and then you can go off and maybe come back in. I still see him froze at the bottom. I hope he can still probably hear me. I'm not really sure. I may have to repeat myself. That's what a contract is for, you guys. So hypothetically saying, and he's saying all this right now, because they didn't follow the first litigation of that contract, because that's what he was doing, going back and forth litigating the contract. So you didn't follow the first preface of that contract. So because you didn't follow the first preface of that contract, and I kept my end, you didn't keep yours, then I would have to come back and get you. You automatically have violated the contract. So it just don't go like that. That's why I was telling y'all about in Hollywood. People will sit up here and sign a damn contract. You know your ass signed the contract, and you just gonna lie about it. You just ain't gonna say nothing. You get what I'm saying? So that's basically what happened. So they used his image, his likeness, and everything. I don't think he's back. Okay, he went all out. They use his name, his likeness, and his image and everything, and then they want to go to court behind closed doors and take his image. So when Rerun was younger, and then he walked away from what's happening, even though he did the first two of what's happening, he came in with the red suspender, baggy pants, and all that. That was his look, right? So when he wanted to walk away, they turned around and put an injunction against him. So he couldn't use his own name and likeness because he gave them the beret, the red suspender, the baggy pants. That's who he was. You gave him a name. He gave you a character because the Rerun character was supposed to be a skinny white boy, and he got a heavy-set black man. So to know like this shit kind of still go on, people think they can do it. I really don't understand. So then Rerun went to court, and I got the document. I made sure marrying him that I did all my research, not for what someone said, but what I found myself. And I found court documents where he changed his last name, his middle name to Rerun. So Rerun legally changed his name to Rerun. So that way, no disrespect, but the white people couldn't control his legacy, his image, and his name. So he had to actually go to court, change his middle name to Rerun, so he could use his beret, suspender, and baggy pants because they wanted to own his image. Because he made all the black folks laugh. He was good in the sitcom, but you wanted to own this man's image. So because they did his image like that, and they wanted to own his image, he had to turn around and change his name legally to Rerun. So that he owned all of his identity, because when he was on What's Happening, they was trying to take his identity, saying, you don't own the beret, you don't own the suspenders, you don't own the bag, you don't own shit. So that's why before Rerun mom died, she went to court and helped him, got his name changed to Rerun. So it's Fred Allen Berry, it became Fred Rerun Berry. But I was saying this. If you do a contract and you don't stand by what you say and you can prove it, you may not even have to walk and go through court, because it's the noise that you make when people see that, because you can't keep doing shit behind closed doors. So because they did not hold valid your contract that you signed with them, you didn't get the right, that shit's not void now. They can't, you can slash all that shit down, and you can't use this likeness, and then let them run you up in court. I got you. Let their ass run. Let them sue you. Okay? Let them sue you, and then you do it that way. Because now that, what's their names?
Pedro and Romero Castro.
Pedro, Romero. Y'all can't Castro nobody over here. Y'all trying to we ain't doing that over here. So now y'all got to go back on a whole new contract, but don't nobody want to do no business with you because you lied on the first contract. That's why I don't give a damn about signing no contract. If that's the case, I'll just sign Rerun's legacy away and they can pay me per month. You see what I'm saying? Or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only way that they're going to get to do a what's happening movie, if I sign off on it, you can't do it without me. Why y'all think you ain't seen nothing? You got to know your law, but because they did not abide by your contract, that shit non-void. And especially if you can prove it, go get their lawyers to tell you, go tell Pedro Castro to holler at me. Let their lawyer holler at me. Because now you better renegotiate because your shit could come down too now. See what I'm saying? See how people try to own you? Because that's what that is. They can't copyright your face like that. You can't.
That's exactly what they have decided.
That's like taking Colonel Sanders and I go copyright his fucking face on my chicken box. So you think they gonna let me? I wish the hell some. And you a different race, and you gonna go and do my name because I'm a little famous. Go do that. I'll be the richest bitch ever walk behind the end and get the course. I will do that. See, you get what I'm saying?
Everything. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go what you say, baby.
Everything that they have been doing, I made a document of. I have it all with me. And everything that they've done, I'm going to charge them for everything. All of those fake Facebook attacks, I'm going to get $1,000 per each one of those. And at the end of it, I'm going to make sure it equals to about $2 million. Because that's about how much aggravation I feel like I went to, between $2 and $5 million worth of aggravation. We could have made millions if you partnered with me. But instead, you want to make me an adversary? Well, I'm going to show you what that feels like.
He said what he said the way he said it. Did you hear him? He said it. Castro, amigo, Romero, he said it. What they talking? That's some funky stuff, you guys. Okay, we was talking a little bit. You said something about Chance the Rapper. Where did he come in? Did he come in anywhere in this?
Okay, so
yeah, I'm forgetting nothing. I remember that name. I like Chance. Give me a chance now. I want him to tell it. I like you, Chance. So don't get upset because I want him to say how he know you. Go ahead.
So originally, what happened is that when this is the chain of events. I don't know if they're connected, but the first thing that happened is that Kevin Hart put on his Laugh Out Loud. Yes, Kevin Hart helped people that he don't even know. You understand what I'm saying? Kevin Hart is doing it from my perspective, how it's supposed to be done. He got a bunch of his homies paid. He get other people paid. Kevin Hart is doing, whether you got beef with anything the brother do, his business acumen cannot be faded. It is the model that all black people should use. You understand?
Let's get Kevin. Kevin Hart, we giving you a standing ovation right now, brother. Encore, you back to the hood helping your people. Yes, Kevin. Yes.
Never met him, never spoke to him, but he put on his Laugh Out Loud page around 2014, 2015. If this is a real business, I want to go there. And if it isn't, it is brilliant. He wrote this and a bunch of people seen it. And right after that, Snoop Dogg put his face over my face. And then you start seeing like people talking about it. Like, and that's when the NBA started, well, not the NBA. Steph Curry would do the dance and sing the song before every playoff game. It got me on Good Morning America. And then one time, Steph Curry and Chance the Rapper were at the ESSIE. And they were dressed up. Chance had his number 3 hat on with his suit on. And the two of them started dancing and singing that song at the ESSIE. You can find it on YouTube. And then they would do it like they...
What was the song they were singing?
Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage.
Okay. Yeah, I remember
2015 in that playoff run, before every playoff, it got me on Good Morning America. Before every playoff game, Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. And then he would go out and do his thing. Yes, ma'am.
He gonna have me singing that through the house.
And you sound good doing it. You better quit playing, girl. I had you in a cheap motel with expensive honey all over you. I'm just joking.
Couldn't get me there though, you know what I'm saying? But I get that song though. For real, we've been doing a hook on that song. I'll be there. Okay, go ahead.
So what wound up happening is that Chance and Steph did the song and danced, and then I got the opportunity to be on a show in Chicago called the South Side. South Side was an amazingly funny show. You can see it on HBO Max. I'm on the 3rd season of it. And Chance and I shot together. And I was walking out of the makeup room, and I go, "Hey man, you don't even know me and you changed my life." He was like, "How did I do that?" Now I look a lot different than I did back then. I said, "You and Steph Curry sang and danced to Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage." He was like, "Oh my God, you're Toby Jones?" And then he started like fanboying, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm fanboying myself." And he was just about to call Steph Curry. Then they called him into the makeup thing. So he had to leave. But after that, man, and he was amazingly just as cool as he seems on television is how cool he is in real life. He is a good Christian young man, honestly. Chance the rapper. Yeah, he was cool and friendly. I got a couple pictures with him, and I got pictures with some of the people from Southside because it was a very funny show. If you can, check it out. It's on HBO Max, and I'm in the 3rd season.
Like everything y'all hear now, my first time too. And I think that's special. That way we can all share these moments together with the feet, the massage, and the barbecue too. Just saying. So, like, okay, a couple of things I want to know. And Chance, how regards to you? Because I really like you. I think he's a very, very respectable young man. I think he's funny. When he was on Wild and Out and stuff like that, I just like his whole spirit because he's on a different level with spirituality. So I have to say that.
His sweetness is really hard to parallel. Like he's thoughtful and he's a true artist. He has the spirit of an artist.
Well, I'm gonna ask you guys this before we get ready to cut. So I'm gonna ask him a couple questions. But because of the situation at hand and what he has brought out to you, and I know C-Dub gonna be paying attention. I'm gonna drop that link too, just in case somebody want to ask you something before we get off. I want y'all to like share, subscribe. Yeah, I'm telling you to share this video, subscribe, and like it. Yeah, because I always tell people I don't care if you share it, like it, or subscribe. I want you to share this video. I want you to like this video, but I want you to give it to other people as well, so people will know, because these was just not just a thing about Steve Harvey. There were things that we just learned out of here, even how they did this thing on YouTube, and this guy did that. I just think I want to call them the Castro brothers. You see what I'm saying? Because like you try to castrate somebody, something. I almost think like chop your private part off. That's what I feel like. Like y'all just trying to castrate a brother, and just you can't do that. So now we not just learning things about Steve, we learned things about what he was going through with this whole situation, which I think is deep. And yeah, you should be angry, you should be mad. And then you got to go back. It's a lot of material that you would have to do. And yeah, this is personal, because how you gonna use somebody's face for all these years and just think you can make money? And then y'all got the plaque. Y'all didn't put my face on the plaque. Y'all
didn't even tell me they had it.
Yeah, how did you find out they had the YouTube plaque?
I saw someone else's. I was watching. Oh my God, it's a dude that FD Signifier. He does a lot of political talk, and he was talking about. He showed his plaque on YouTube and said, "I got a plaque for 100,000 followers." Now at this point, I'm like, "Wait, you get a plaque?" That's how I found out. It's because someone else was talking about their plaque.
Wow. Yep. And I think you said after 100,000, you can get a check regardless. You get a study paycheck. You get a check
for every time somebody those ads, you get money for those ads. So every time you click past that ad that says I don't want to watch it anymore, and they have ads attached to every video, so they're getting money for every time somebody watching those videos.
That's another reason. Now I get what he's saying. But like that's why I don't jump my ass on everybody's pages. Y'all ain't never seen my face on nobody's platform but Geneva's and Storm. And you heard my voice on Tasha K. Not saying I'm all that, but like how you think you gonna make money off my damn face and you ain't gonna offer me a burger?
Well first let's say this. Let's correct the record, Ms. Berry. You are all that. Do you know how hard it is the first problem that I have with most of us, we do not love each other enough. You got to find a reason to love yourself. And the love first has to emanate from the woman. Because if we don't appreciate our women, We will never get anywhere. Stop being in competition with these sisters and get in the groove with them. Even if that means you got to follow, then fucking follow. If you ain't ready to lead, you gotta fucking follow. And what I mean by that is don't let nobody lessen your goddamn value. This is what I learned from these guys. I'm checking these. Do you know young people would tell me in these clubs, because I'm still working as a comedian. So I would get in the club and somebody in their 20s or 30s would say some shit like, "You were my childhood." And I'm like, "What?" And they was like, "Yeah, man, you were everywhere on Vine." I didn't even have a Vine account. But people are, if you go, like, even if you go on TikTok now, if you look at Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage, it has at least 22 million views as just that hashtag, right? But there are other variations that have 1 million, 2 million. They told me that I was integral in the growth of Vine. Now, if you can make a social media platform launch, you should be able to go to the bank and see some money. You see what I'm saying? You should be able to, and I don't know if they sold this shit to anybody. I know nothing because they haven't told me anything and they've never given me exactly what they call a fair accounting. So the moment that you lessen your value, Miss Berry, is the moment that another motherfucker can take advantage of you. You are a sister. You have the essence in every bit of a sister, and you should be able to claim whatever the fuck you want to because y'all give life. How you gonna tell somebody that gives life what they ain't? And you know, when I'm 53. When I was a young dude, I used to see these cats play this song called Captain Save-A-Ho. To me, that's a ridiculous concept. I don't give a fuck who you fucking. I don't give a fuck whatever else is going on. If I'm helping you, I'm gonna help you. You understand? It don't have nothing to do with me. It has to do with you being you. You feel me? If we don't love ourselves, if we watch how these white folks treat each other. They still want Donald Trump as their president, and he smeared shit on the walls of their Capitol. So you think I give a fuck because you done dipped off with another nigga? That's not my position. My position is I'm going to make you successful no matter what, because I've never seen anything but black women turn around and give back in everything that they do. They consider us before they consider themselves. So the least you could do is stop bullshitting and stop going to other countries looking for women. If you're not man enough to make her what you need her to be, then at least go find another one. Go find another, because I ain't never had nothing but positive endings with black women. Every black woman I've ever been around, from my mother to anybody I see on the street. I thought I had COVID early in the COVID shit, and I had just got a kidney transplant. And I'm standing outside trying to get a goddamn COVID test. And I see this little sister, and she's like, "Look, guys, we are way behind. We can't get nobody else in. It's crazy." When she walked past me, I said, "Listen, baby, I just got a kidney transplant. I need this test." And she looked at me and said, "Don't tell nobody," and hand me the number. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. Little things like it's in every fucking office that functions well. It's a sister somewhere who making that shit happen. So every moment of your life is a blessing to the world.
Thank you so much. I think I needed that. You know, and those things, y'all hear that man, what he just said? That's some true shit, because we did give you life. I looked at this, what they just said. Somebody said, Ron Hines, I just pulled up Jones Cheap Ass Prepaid Legal and Daycare. You have 4.4 million. So all the ones that you know, what I want you to do to make sure, Rob, like she just pulled that one up, go back and take pictures of every one of the thumbnails on any social. I tell you the rest. Y'all already know I got a plan. It's not playing. On all the sites, go back and everywhere you see what you have created, make sure you get the view account and where it started, when it launched. You know what I'm saying? Get the preparation of each one of them, from Instagram to YouTube to Facebook to all that. Now, I don't know. I know you could get paid on Twitter. I mean, TikTok too. That one too. Any social media sites that they carry this online, go and get all the likes and views and stuff from there. We finna just show you how to get them real quick. Like, yeah, real quick. Like, got an idea. See what you should have did. Because now let me ask you this. They have a company, right? They have a company. Okay. Yeah, okay, I got you.
It's called the Castro Brothers Production now. They took it away from Big Dog Eat Child and made it a Castro Brothers Production.
And how long has it been in existence?
the first video came out in 2008, like December of 2008.
How long has Castro been in existence?
Oh, I don't know. I think that might have only been about 5 or 6 years, maybe. It's a lot less than the videos were out.
Okay, so why do you think they did that? Do you say, no, I ain't gonna do that on here? I gotta, nah, I'm gonna go leave that one. Don't answer that question. Besides being greedy as hell. That's
That's
why you did it. And then
That's
you
it.
saw you can make money because we are money makers, y'all. Black people are money makers. You see that when you don't see nothing else. You know, like that guy who wrote Good Times, The Jeffersons, What's Happening,
Michael Evans.
yeah, $1 million. Eric Monty wrote all those.
Eric Monty, right.
Yeah, Eric Monty wrote all those, and he gave it $1 million. And all those sitcoms I just named are right now still on TV. You see what I'm saying? And that man sitting around broken and homeless shelter and stuff. What the fuck? Like, come on now. I'd rather stay on YouTube and just chill. If you're gonna just rob me blindly.
That is exactly what happened to the dude who made If You Want Me to Stay. Sly Stone.
If you
Sly
want
Stone
me
had to go back and
stay,
sue them people for his
I'll do
money.
that right there. That song?
If you want me to stay, I'll be around today. Yeah, that guy. That's Sly Stone.
Come on, now.
Be available for you to see, cause I'm about to go, and then you'll know. For me to stay here, I've got to be me.
Hey, I'm about to go. Hey, we gonna make our own jingle on here, baby. Let's make him do a jingle to make the women fall in love. I'm about to go. Y'all better stop in here. Y'all better stop playing now.
That is one of my favorite Sly Stone songs. At the end of the song, if you listen to the whole song, at the end, they still playing music. He's like, he just don't give a fuck. Like Sly did not care. He was like, I'm through, man.
I mean, that song itself, because I know Bobby Brown used to sing it to his little daughter a lot. I saw that. That's how I really saw that song, because he was singing and she was singing back to him. Wow. All that talent you got, they took your talent and they ran with it. But hopefully they'll see this video because people are going to share it as well. So with the whole thing, as far as the industry is concerned, if you had to tell us something to deal with the industry or the experience that you've been through, because I know, like, when you talked about the Steve Harvey thing, that still played in your mind all this time. So we have to be careful and mindful how we do people, even in the celebrity world. Because I ain't gonna lie, when you said that, I had went off on a chick the other day on the phone, and I had never went off on her like that. But if you saw my mentality in the beginning, that was different because I thought it was a build a relationship. But if you come sideways with me, like, I'm an activist, but I'm human. I don't know how I'm going to come up on you because I could be having a bad day. But it was a little different with this situation, you know what I'm saying? Because he really didn't even get Steve didn't give him a chance to build a relationship. He just cut him down, made him look a different type of way. And it was like, okay. And those things, regardless, especially when you admire somebody, because I'm sure you did at that time.
Oh, my God. I thought he was amazing. Yes.
You? And then
I did. I mean, the first time I saw him, I see part of it is that he sort of bit a little bit of Richard Pryor style. You could see a little bit of Pryor in him. And I was like, oh my God, this dude is kind of got this Pryor thing down, you know, especially when he would start to go on a tangent. It was very Pryor-esque. One of the things that made Richard Pryor what he was that he would introduce the concept, act it out. Introduce the concept, act it out. And that was some of the rhythm that Steve he was amazing in the beginning. Like, even that night, even when he was talking about me, hell, I can remember what he said. It was so funny. He said, because then I wasn't as big as I got. I was just younger then, so I hadn't got a chance to get that fat. He said, look at little Harold Washington back there with that goddamn light. Right?
Hey, you can with the light.
He called me Harold Washington Jr. Harold Washington was the mayor of Chicago. He was the first black mayor of Chicago.
Okay. And did you feel funny when he had clowned you?
I thought it was hilarious. I couldn't really enjoy it because they told me get his ass off stage. So I couldn't really enjoy it. I didn't even care. I just wanted him to come off stage. You know what I mean? That was what we got, people waiting to come in to see you in the next show. and you're gonna be so rude that you're gonna, because they got to turn the room around. You got to pick up all these glasses and shit, and he wouldn't get off stage. So I didn't have a chance, but I thought it was funny though. I ain't gonna.
Oh, and he knew that they was trying to get him off stage, and he made that comment.
He didn't give a fuck.
Wow. Wow.
Didn't give a fuck about the people standing outside or nothing. Just kept talking.
Y'all see, I'm just saying with that. And with Bernie Mac, you say hands down, very good man, everything real. Because if y'all missed anything in the beginning, y'all got to go back and watch it. He talked about Steve Harvey, how he met him, the comedy thing, a little bit about DL and said a little bit. Bernie Mac, and then this whole Pedro Castro thing. That's just amazing to me and what's going on right now. But I think I got a way to figure out to fix that for you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you do this, they're going to think about it twice before they keep trying to make money. So do you think they're still making money off of everything right now, or you think everything ceased? Because I'm going to be honest with you, talented as fuck. So you could be doing your own thing right now. Like, you know, even though we work on that, you got a voice about you. You know what I'm saying? You could just do one like, because I might get you to call, sing that. You sound like Sly. You know what I'm saying? So you could kind of start back your own thing, even though they did that. Because what I do know about like YouTube and other platforms now, you have the ability to correct with whoever and whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And you can make your own money too. That's the platform to give you. So no producer, no one owns you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a blogger, you guys. I'm a civil rights activist. Like people be thinking I'm blogging. And I'm telling my truth. But I want to be able to share the platform because he could have went on anybody's platform. For whatever reason he contacted me, I thank him for that. A lot of people contact me because they know I'm honest. And even though you get likes, shares, subscribes, and views, but what's the point after the shit if you ain't got nothing else after that? Because everybody else on the platform, they got the likes, shares, and views. But what did he get out of it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They thought about some ideas right now, like your background, how you got it. You could just kind of start back launching your own thing. But we're gonna shut all that down. What you just said, we can do that.
We are working on some things, and I didn't want see the reason I'm not ever going to go through this again. So I'm copywriting and putting shit together so that they can't claim any of it. We have rebranded everything, and there are some things that are by themselves that stand alone. Like I'm currently writing a show called The Negro Pope, and the Negro Pope is a black dude who does ads for other people and don't nobody pay him. He finally get in so much trouble where he gotta go to jail because he owed child support. But once the child support happens, everybody around him rallies to get him out of jail. And he starts a strip club. In essence, it's a strip club, but he calls it a church. So it's about a dude that runs this strip club that's the church and how they build the entire community around black women. Because he doesn't just ask them to take their clothes off. He actually built a tax service. He's selling weed at the church. It's all type. It's a whole community. Because here's the point of the story is that we shouldn't judge each other's capitalism. Capitalism is the bullshit, not the shit that you did. You see, don't get mad because somebody feel like they got to give hand jobs to make $1. The fact that they have to give the hand jobs should be your anger, not the fact that they're doing it. You know what I mean? Because the way that America has taken over black people was through capitalism and religion. Now, whether or not, I'm not telling you not to follow your religion or none of that shit. I'm just telling you the reality. And so this show is a take on capitalism and religion. And I'm looking really forward to putting it out. I'm finishing writing it today. And even so, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot part of it myself, much like Issa Rae, another sister. As much like Issa Rae did her show, I'm going to just start releasing bits and pieces of the Negro Pope on air so that you can see it, and then we'll eventually get it as a TV show.
You know what, too? I want to hook you up with C-Dub because C-Dub real good with editing and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We probably could work something out because, like, to me, it's about us as black people coming together, creating something that's greater than it can be created before. Quite naturally, you probably want to get some paperwork, but if we want our people to build and be better than what we can, we got to give some of who we are to make it go to something else. So, you know what I'm saying? even with what you're doing right now, like I already thought of some ideas that you can come back and start building your own. They thought they did something, but it just made you greater, and for that and all the talents you got, don't sit up and let your talent go to waste, because you got a lot of talent that you could do with so many other things. But I want to because I'm gonna bring him back, you guys, and I'm sure if somebody see him, they're gonna want them on his platform too. That would be up to them if they wanted to do that. He wanted to do that, but I want to try to get him out as much as possible. So please share it. But can you tell them? I'm gonna pull you up on the screen for a minute, let you talk for a moment, okay?
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
like how they can get in touch with you, all your sites, your email. I'm gonna let you do that. And please, I'm right, Quas, if you could drop that in the box while he's talking. I just like seeing your face because you like not animated, but you like me, you know what I'm saying? I enjoy sitting back watching you. So I'm gonna let you have the screen. I'm gonna step off for a moment, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Everything that needs your cash app, all that, everything.
Ma'am.
And can somebody please, when he's calling it, you might want to do it twice so they can get it wrote down and then put it in a box for me.
Yes, ma'am. My Instagram page is Robert L. Hines on Instagram. It's also Robert L. Hines on YouTube. So both on YouTube and Instagram, it's Robert L. Hines. And then on Instagram and Facebook, it's Robert L. Hines. On YouTube, it's also Robert L. Hines on YouTube. And on Twitter, I think it's Robert L. Hines 1 or something like that. I don't go on Twitter a lot, but it's there. And we do have a GoFundMe because I am trying to get an attorney. I put it in our live chat. I put it in our chat, but I don't know how to give it to you any other way than with that post. Also, we are doing other things. We're gonna put those things out. But the thing I want you all to take from this, in addition to the way to contact me, and Miss Berry, please know this, that America was built on your energy. America was built on who you are. And what we need to do is start turning our abilities into each other. It's just like you just said. We need to partner with each other because the internet has changed the game, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever you want to sell, you can sell it from these platforms. And so if you understand that you gave these people all this shit, then you can give it to yourself. And I thank you, Miss Essie Berry, for allowing me the opportunity to talk, for allowing me to talk about everything that we spoke of. And I'm doing a podcast with a dude from Knoxville, and it's called the Noville Podcast. So if you get a chance, follow that, because myself and Rome Williams are doing that podcast, and we talk a lot about politics and a lot of positive Black stuff. And some of the stuff we talk about is a little uncomfortable for some people because the way we see the truth, we present it as such. You don't have to take action on what I'm telling you, but just know that there's truth in it. This whole situation is built of energy, and our energy is creating something different, and that energy is now changing. And it's going to start benefiting us more, but we have to be in the forefront of our own thoughts, letting ourselves know that we do love each other, that we are important, and that we are special. And that is what I'm saying to you from this point forward. Ladies and gentlemen, learn to love yourself first.
I want to say that it's been an honor and a pleasure. When I talked to you, called me the other day for you being on my platform. If anything I could do, because when I say platform, I feel like y'all, when I invite you on here, I don't even really like to say platform. I like to say this is my house, this is my aura, this is my surrounding. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm letting you into my world. And I just want to know, I love you for listening to your mail lady. Tell her I say, hey, mail lady.
Terry.
What's her name? What's her name?
Terry. Hey, Terry.
Terry, hey, girl. Good thing you told him about me. Give Terry a shout out. The mail lady and shout out. All right.
She is a sweetheart.
Another
black woman making shit better.
And then she could have not told him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we should do. We share our dreams. We share our responsibilities. We share our anger, our happy, our thoughts. Because we are Black people in this. And how dare you think that you could just come up here and just take over our legacy and take over who we are? That's why I say, even on YouTube, I'm setting up other platforms because so easily people can snatch your shit. I hate that. That
Yep.
bothers me when you can just snatch my stuff down and certain things I cannot get back. We need to create a way that we don't get nothing snatched down, that we can be a platform no matter what and
Yep.
still do what they're doing on YouTube, which I thank YouTube for giving us this platform as well. Because I went through some things with YouTube, and I have to say, because when I did have a lawsuit with them, I see a lot of things have changed after I went after them. And I have to
Mm.
say that, and I got the lawsuit to prove it. And they talked about people being bullied, stalked, and harassed on it. So if you notice now, a lot of those things have changed on YouTube. And I want to say it's because of me. Y'all didn't know I had sued YouTube. I was suing everybody.
I
That
know that's right.
I don't give a damn. I'm not writing a lawsuit if I can't do nothing else. I'll write your cats, your mamas, your dogs, your birds in it, your shoes if they damn dirty. That's who I am. I'm just telling you. So we've had enough. We need to allow our voices to be heard. And I would love when you get your platform with your podcast to be able to come on maybe and just have a little fun with you and the gentleman. Again, I really want you to, I'm gonna try to get Seed up hooked up with you too, because just in case, like if you needed some editing or something, I do have contracts of like anything, all my music. When y'all hear my music on my platform, I own it. I own the beat. I own the sound. I own the words. I own the lyrics to it. Because I went in and I learned that because one day I went in a place, and after the guy found out I was ESSIE Berry, he wanted to take my vocals. Nigga, what? That ain't what you said in the ad. So now you
Mm.
know, Berry, you trying to change the game. You can't do that because I had already made him sign something because I felt like he was going to do that. So it's sad sometimes to know if you can't trust somebody. Because listen, if I can't trust you, I'm not going to write a contract with you. I'm not going to sign anything with you. I'm not going to be bothered with you like that because that means you're a bone-faced liar. And because this was another person, even though I hate y'all with another race, but we gonna have to throw this shit back up in y'all face now. Like you brought to the wrong sister. And people, if you don't know something, I will speak the truth, and I'm not afraid to speak up against anybody or anything if you're wrong. And we as Black people, we need to start doing that more. So I admire you for getting out here telling your truth too, because some people wouldn't have done it. You know what I'm saying? And y'all want y'all to find this brother on my people, please. Find this brother on any of his social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, so we can start supporting this brother in any kind of way that we can, for sure.
Thank you very much. You are very right. Everything you've been doing, people need your help. And for us, I thank you. Even those people who did, shady shit after you helped them, just remember it's more capitalism than it is them.
Yeah.
They felt like they didn't have no choice.
Right. And I understand that too. That's why I keep doing what I do. I don't hold no grudges. I think this is one of the best. I hate to say interview. When I talk to people, I feel like you're my family. But I feel like this is one of the best conversations, like with somebody coming on the platform like this. Because usually we have OG Sunday. I'm sure you probably, because the way you was talking and you mess with prisoners, you got to feel some kind of OG up in you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Absolutely.
hey, excuse me, you know, to be a man working up in that type of facility, that takes a lot too. You know, again, I will still want to call you Mr. Chi-Town. That's my nickname to you. It has been an honor. It has been a pleasure. If somebody sees this interview, I will pass it on and make sure you get it. But I'm gonna give you another way too, because some people might want to call you because that I got a way. Because I'm gonna talk to C-Dub about getting your shit off these people's pages, so you'll have a copy of your own stuff. That's what I want to tell C-Dub because he's good with that. You see what I'm saying? So you can't hide nothing. I'm gonna make sure that he got that footage for you and see what we can do about that. Is there any other words you want to say before we call ourselves today?
I
Anything?
just want to say love yourself. And part of my learning that was being in that jail, because the people that was on my team were lesser than the people that they had us watching. You understand what I'm saying? When these brothers decided they wanted to do something, they did it. And I mean that in the most complimentary way. When our people get locked up, whatever they were on the street, they steal the same shit inside. So all those well-dressed people were well-dressed. All those thinkers were still thinkers. All those leaders were still leaders. And that's why they took them off the playing board, because they didn't want us to have the numbers that we were growing.
And we can have those numbers. We can have those numbers. So look at all the sisters calling me. that's admiring me. And I tell you, like, I was in the cut hiding somewhere, not really hiding, working for my people. It ain't about rich people I work for. I do this for everybody all day long. This is my element now. You know what I'm saying? You all got your element. We need to take our element, what we good at, and we need to put it in a higher level now so that we can help each other. And hopefully I can bring you back on again when he
Would love
gonna
to
tell
come
you,
back
you know,
on the
write
show.
their stuff down and took all this out and all that other stuff. You got so many good compliments on the video. Hopefully you could go back yourself and maybe respond to some of them.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
guys, y'all done took 2 hours a day out of y'all beautiful time to sit here with me and Mr. Chi-Town. I am humbly grateful again for your interview, your conversation. I love you. But before we go, can I just get you to sing that on out of here?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
get
Here
you
we
to,
go.
can I get you to sing a little Sly Jones on out of here? Y'all listen to this because we about to go.
If you want me to stay, I'll be around today to be available for you to see. Cause I'm about to go, and then you'll know for me to stay here, I've got to be me. You'll never be in doubt. That's what it's all about. You can take me for granted and smile. If you're not pleased, I'm gone. Forget reaching me by phone because I promise I'll be gone for a while.
Hey, with your cute smile. We about to go. We'll see you later, though. Y'all, we love y'all. Peace out. God bless you guys. Until I see y'all Tuesday, for sure, or Wednesday. Peace out, you guys. God bless you guys, and I love you.